All right, today we are going to build something together. We're going to go from just a tiny spark of an idea all the way to a solid blueprint. We are diving deep into the fundamentals of IT project management, the art and the science of turning those digital dreams into a reality. So, how do you actually manage a super complex tech project from start to finish? Well, let's find out.
Okay, let's start with a kind of a wild question. I want you to think about two pretty incredible human achievements. The Great Pyramids of Giza, I mean, these things have stood for millennia, and then that app on your phone you just can't live without. What on earth could those two things possibly have in common?
The answer? They're both projects. See, a project isn't just your normal day-to-day work. It's a temporary mission. It has a clear start and a clear end, and it's all designed to create something totally new, whether that's a massive ancient tomb or, a seamless user interface. So, now let's zoom in a little bit. Building a pyramid and building an app? Yeah, they both require managing people and resources, for sure. But IT projects, they are a special breed. They're all about managing really rapid technological change, and that comes with a whole unique set of rules and challenges.
Here's the thing. IT project management isn't just one skill. It's really a fusion of three. To be successful, you have to speak three languages, and you have to speak them fluently. You need the language of people, right? That's general management. You need the language of process, which is project management. And of course, you have to speak the language of technology itself.
Now, at the heart of every single project, there's this constant battle. It's known as the Iron Triangle. You have three competing forces: time, cost, and scope. And a project manager's entire job really is to balance them. So if a stakeholder comes to you and wants to add new features, which expands the scope, a good PM immediately asks, great, are we adding more time or are we adding more money to the budget? You just can't change one side of that triangle without affecting the others. It's this permanent tug of war. So where do these IT projects even come from? I mean, they don't just appear out of thin air, right? They always start with a business need, a problem that needs solving or an opportunity that needs to be seized. So let's look at the very first steps. The whole journey kicks off right here. First, a business identifies a need. Let's say they've got a clunky old website that just has to be replaced. Then they create a project charter. And you can think of this as the project's official birth certificate. It basically says, yep, this is a real thing and it has our full support. And finally, if they need some outside help, they'll send out what's called a request for proposal, or RFP. It's pretty much an open call saying, hey, we've got a problem. Who has the best plan to solve it? This whole early stage, we can call it the think about phase. It is that crucial creative moment where a vague problem gets a really clear frame around it and potential solutions are imagined for the very first time. Let me tell you, getting this part right is absolutely critical for everything that's going to follow. So once that request for proposal is out there in the world, the ball is officially in someone else's court. Now it's time for either internal teams or maybe external contractors to respond by turning that initial idea into a concrete, actionable plan. And this is done through the project proposal. You should really think of it as the comprehensive answer to the client's problem. It's not just a price tag. It's a story that explains, hey, we totally understand your problem. Here's our vision for solving it, and this is exactly how we're going to get it done. And a winning proposal? It has these key ingredients. It has to prove you've listened and that you truly get the problem. It needs a clear, logical approach. Crucially, it has to spell out the benefits to the client. And of course, it needs realistic estimates for time and budget, all backed up by your team's experience. Okay, so we've talked about the process, we've talked about the documents, but at the end of the day, a project is driven by people. And at the absolute center of it all is the project manager. If the project team is an orchestra, the PM is the conductor. They're not playing an instrument, but they're making sure everyone plays together in perfect harmony. So what makes a great conductor? Well, it's not just one thing. It's leadership, to inspire the team. It's flawless communication, to keep everyone in sync. It's crystal clear planning, to see the road ahead. Creative problem solving for when things inevitably go wrong. And maybe most importantly, stakeholder engagement. Making sure everyone, from the newest developer all the way to the CEO, feels heard and invested in the project's success. And, out of all those traits, maybe the most important one of all is just integrity. This quote from Elizabeth Heron, it really says it all. A project manager's entire currency is trust. If you see a major risk coming up on the horizon and you deliberately stay silent, you're not just being optimistic, you're being dishonest. In this role, transparency isn't just a good idea, it is everything. Okay, so we've covered the what, the how, and the who. But why are we so obsessed with this process? Why does it matter so much? Because the real world stakes of getting it right or getting it catastrophically wrong are absolutely immense. Just take this example. Back in 1994, the Northridge earthquake in Los Angeles collapsed a major overpass, and it severed a critical artery of the city. The economic damage wasn't just the cost of rebuilding it, it was estimated to be $1 million for every single day that highway was closed. The pressure was unbelievable. Now, I want you to just look at this number. $14.8 million. What do you think that represents? Is it the total cost of the disaster? Maybe the final budget for the rebuild? Take a guess. Nope. That was the bonus the construction company earned for finishing the job 74 days ahead of schedule. This is the power of world-class project management. By managing their time, their cost, and their scope absolutely flawlessly, they didn't just rebuild an overpass, they saved the city over $70 million in economic losses and earned a huge reward for their incredible efficiency. So you see, project management isn't just about checklists and software. It's a framework for achieving truly incredible things, for solving complex problems, and for creating real value in the world. We've just walked through the blueprint, from a simple idea to a concrete plan. So the only question left is this. You have the process, so what will you build?